In today's video, we are going to be doing a review of the Neewer CB150. Now, this is a 150 watt COB continuous LED lighting kit. And the reason why I picked up this light is because I needed something a little bit more bright compared to something like, let's say, my ring light or my LED panel light that tops out at around 25 to 50 watts. So this is definitely going to be significantly brighter than these lights here, and I would like to showcase that by doing a series of lighting tests by comparing this light to my current LED lights. And also I would like to just comment on the overall build quality and what my sort of thoughts are after using this light for both photography as well as videography. Now, I think the main selling point for this lighting set is going to be the price point at which it comes in at. Now, for me, in my case, I was looking at different stores to see what kind of light that I can get for a decent price that came in at that 150 watt mark. And quite frankly, the options were plenty, but I found that they were on the expensive side. So I'm very happy that I was able to pick this one up for the given price. And once again, I will tell you whether or not I feel as though this light is worth it for that price point. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's go on with the unboxing for the CB150, and let's start off by talking about what exactly comes inside the box. Alright, so what you see here is what comes inside of the box. As you can tell, there's nothing really extravagant. You're not really getting anything extra, but you are getting the fundamentals that a lighting kit should come with. For starters, you do have this really long power cable, which is used to power your light. And one of the great things about the design of this setup is that the electrical components don't hang from the cable. So there isn't like an external power block that's going to hang from your light and add extra weight. Everything is built into the light itself. And this cable is also fairly long, so it's going to help you with the positioning of your light. So just to give you an idea, I was able to extend this cable from the floor going all the way to the ceiling. And even then, there was still some length to be extended. So I'm happy that they've given you this long cable. And you also have the option of buying an additional extension cord should you want to have a little bit more freedom when it comes to using your light. In addition to that, you will see that there is also a nice remote. Now, I know that there's some lights out there that use an application to control the light, but I don't know, I kind of prefer having a dedicated remote for the light. And we'll talk about the different features that this remote has and sort of the different sort of controls that you can have over your light using this remote. In addition to that, you also have a lighting dome. Okay, this is a light modifier that can be placed on the front of the light. The great thing about this is that it can give you more control over the direction of your light. And in addition to that, it can make it somewhat brighter as there's less light that's going to be leaking behind the lighting kit itself. So it gives you a little bit more direction. And what's great about this is that there's also an opening here where you can slide an umbrella. So it is to be noted that this does have a bounce mount, which means that you have a lot of flexibility with using different light modifiers. And this is one light modifier as an example. And as mentioned earlier in this video, I will be mounting this light onto a softbox so that you can see how that would perform under those circumstances. Now, moving over towards the light itself, as you can see here, it has quite a bit of weight to it, but I mean, like I said, all of the electrical components are inside. The main part of the light is made out of a metal. However, the back and the front portions are made out of a plastic. But overall, the build quality, I'm getting a very, very good vibe to it. It does feel sturdy and strong and well made. In the front here, there is a protective cover for your COB light. So in order to remove that, there's a little sort of slit here. You just pull it back and then the cover comes off. And here is your COB light, okay, chip on board. And this thing gets extremely, extremely bright. You have your heat sink in front in order to help you to dissipate some of the heat. All right, and at the bottom here, there is a mechanism which allows you to mount this onto different stands. You can mount this onto a regular sort of light stand that you can buy from Amazon, and you can also mount this onto a C-stand. Now, I did hear some comments about this not being able to fit on the heavy-duty C-stands, but what I will do is I will leave some links down below to give you sort of a sense of direction as to the type of C-stand that I was able to use to mount this onto. And this mechanism is also fairly sturdy. It feels as though it's made out of a metal. And what I do like about this mechanism as well is that it's easy to adjust. So you simply have to take this plastic knob, turn it, and then it will loosen the mechanism, and it will give you the ability to sort of maneuver and get a better positioning for your light. All right, so this pretty much concludes the sort of unboxing. So this is exactly what the lighting kit comes with. Now, again, it can't really sort of come with more than this, especially considering that the price point that it comes in at. So I feel as though everything that it should come with, all of the essentials, it's here, and I think that that's what counts. So now let's move on to the next part where we will be talking about the various features that this lighting kit has. All right, so I have the light here connected via the power cord that it came with. Now, just to start off, this light is not the most sophisticated light, so you're not going to get things like changing the Kelvin from daylight to it being more warm. It's fixed at 5600 Kelvin. You're not going to get things like RGB, you're not going to get lighting effects, so they had to cut corners in certain areas in order to make this light more affordable. But I can say that for what it does, and for the amount of power that it has, I feel as though that this is a fantastic deal. So let's go over the various features that it has. So in order to turn on your light, you'll notice that there's a little switch at the bottom. You flip that on. This is going to activate the display that is behind here. Now, in order to turn on your light, you simply have to just press the little circular button. You do that, and the light turns on. As easy as that. Now, right now, it's only set to 1%. And you can already tell that it's fairly bright, okay? So one of the great things about this as well is that you can change the display for the temperature, which sort of monitors how warm your light is getting. So right now it is set to Fahrenheit, but if you live in a different country such as Canada, then you can also set that to degrees Celsius. And you do that simply by holding on the turn knob that is here. Easy as that. And then if you wanted to change the different channels, there are 10 in total. You click on the turn knob once, and then you can turn it to the different channels. And as mentioned, by changing the channel of this particular light, so let's just say you had two lights, you can set this one to, let's say, channel 1, and the second light to channel 2. You can control each light individually based on the channel that it's on using the remote, which can also adjust for those different channels as well. So this kind of gives you more granular control over your individual lights. So that pretty much concludes it for the different things that this light can do and how to operate it. Now, another good thing about this whole setup is that you can increase the lighting power by increments of 1%. So you can go slowly. So now it's at 10%. 11, 12, 13, 14. So as you can tell, this light is fairly bright and we're only at 1/5 of its full power. Okay, then this is 50%. And if you turn it faster, it'll go up at a faster pace, 90%, and then 100, okay? So this hopefully will give you an idea as to how bright this is, but I also want you to see how bright this is compared to my LED panel. So I did do a quick lighting test of this, so you will be able to see that here right now. So as you saw with that first lighting test, the 150 watt CB150 is definitely brighter than my 50 watt LED lighting panel. And when it came to using the light as well, it's fairly easy when controlling it with the remote. So you can easily turn it on and off. And in the same way, you can also adjust the brightness in 1% increments. And also on the display of the screen as well, it shows you information such as the channel, how much battery is left in the remote, and also at what power level your light is set to. So when it comes to using it, it's fairly simple and straightforward. Now, what I would like to do as well is I want to mount this onto a softbox so that you can see how well it would perform in relation to my LED lights, panel lights and ring light that I have here. All right, so before I actually install the softbox, I wanted to give you an idea as to how the light might look simply by using the light dome. So as it stands now, the setting on my camera is set to 50 for the shutter speed, 1.8 for the aperture, and 100 for the ISO. And the light is only at 16%, and you can already tell how bright this might be. So let me just increase the power a bit more, 25%, 30%. Okay, so we don't really need to go that much farther to sort of realize how bright this light is. But I think this is going to be very useful if you have to place the light really far away from the subject. So in that type of case, you'll be able to sort of use your light without the light actually showing up into the frame of the camera. So this is going to give you more flexibility when it comes to the positioning of your light. So now let's connect the softbox to this CB150 so that you can have an idea as to how that would perform under those types of circumstances. All right, so I have my softbox all set up. Now, the thing about this light is that inside of the softbox, there's actually a little dome which actually bounces the light off of that dome, and then it goes into the back of the light and then passes through a white film that is here, which sort of softens the light. So in this case, there's kind of like double the diffusion. So just to give you a quick idea as to like what we're working with right now, currently the setting on my camera is at 50 for the shutter speed, 2.2 for the aperture, and 100 for the ISO. Now, it's important to keep in mind that when comparing this setup to the other setup that I had with 3 lights, you have to keep in mind that those 3 lights were coming from different directions, and this is just coming from one source. So if we were to use this very nice soft light in unison with a, let's say, a second light, then I'm sure that the results will be even better. So let me just alter the aperture here so that you can see. So let me just lower it to 1.8. Okay, this is 2.0, 2.8, okay, going higher. So you can see it's getting a little bit more dark. Now, I think what I'll do after this as well, I'll probably mount this onto an umbrella so that you can see how that would work as well. And currently, the power on the light is set to 100%. Okay, so for one light that is coming from a softbox, I feel as though it's doing a fantastic job. Once again, let me mount on the umbrella so that you can see how that would work under those types of circumstances. All right, so right now I have my translucent umbrella connected with the dome onto the CB150. As you can tell, the light is a little bit more dispersed, it's a little more scattered and less controlled when compared to the softbox. Now, just to give you an idea, the setting on my camera is currently set to 50 for the shutter speed, 1.8 for the aperture, and 100 for the ISO. And the lighting power is only set to 47%. So if I were to make some adjustments to the aperture, just as how we did before, this would be 2.2 for the aperture, sorry, 2.0. And then getting darker, this would be 2.8, 3.2, 3.5, 4.0. So you kind of have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to selecting the camera settings. And you can also maybe adjust the ISO if you wanted to, maybe bump it up to, let's say, 200, just to let a little bit more light in. All right, so there you have it. These are the different types of circumstances that you would be able to use your light. And as mentioned before, having a brighter light such as this gives you more flexibility when it comes to the placement of the light and when it comes to making the various settings for your camera. Now, just a comment, I did use this light for photography as well as for video, and I feel as though that the results were very, very good. And I think this light, honestly, for the money, I think this is probably the best light that you can get for the price. So if you're looking for something that's really bright, something that's built well, and something that's not going to break the bank. And I would also consider moving into something like this from a regular panel light, because having the balance mount gives you the ability to add different light modifiers, as how I showed you throughout this video. I use the dome, I use the translucent umbrella, as well as a softbox. And just by changing the light modifiers, it gave the video a very different look. So overall, I'm very, very happy with the performance of the CB150. And with that being said, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. And if this is something that you enjoy, please don't hesitate to hit the like button, as this does help the channel to grow overall. Also, if you have any comments or questions, perhaps there's something that I didn't cover in this video, be sure to drop them down in the comment section down below, as I do enjoy hearing from you, the viewer. And in addition to that, if you want to see more content such as this, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, as this does help the channel to grow overall. And with that being said, I want to say thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video. So take care for now.